Sunday, 8th of March, going back to Richmond for the part 2 of the DMV TV advertisement filming. So, wish me luck. It's a long ride. Meet me outside. Sunday, 8th of March. Going to Richmond one more time. Hour and 20-minute ride. Tally-ho. And off we jolly well go. Yesterday, during the ride, hang on a second, turn on this camera as well. So yesterday, during the ride up to Richmond, just before I got to Richmond, I hit 3,000 miles. I'm now at 3,098. So I've had the motorcycle since the 28th of October of 2019. It is now the 8th of March 2020, so 3.5 months, 4.5 months. I've ridden all through the winter. But winter, this is Southern Virginia, so we don't really have winters. We had 1 day of snow. We've had a couple of days below the freezing point of winter, of water I mean. But generally I can ride pretty much all the time, except when we have some of our tropical storms. So my impressions of 3,000 miles of this motorcycle: still the best motorcycle I've ever ridden, most enjoyable, most comfortable, has the most tech. I generally have the suspension set to dynamic, the spring leveling to automatic. I have the riding mode in road most of the time. I only put it to dynamic a couple of times. I've had it in rain a couple of times. I have the seat put to its highest position. I'm not particularly tall. I've got a 32-inch inseam. I can flat foot with the seat in the highest positions. I've made a few modifications to the motorcycle. I have a front engine bars. I have rear pannier protection bars. Now I know they're sometimes called crash bars, but in a crash they do not save the motorcycle from getting damaged. What they do is that if I low speed or stood still, the bike falls over, it will protect the expensive cylinder heads at the front and the plastic parts. If you consider one of the panniers on the back is around $2,000 to replace, so if it falls over and breaks a pannier, it's very expensive. One other modification I have made is I've put a lowering kit on the rider foot pegs, which moved the foot pegs down 1¼ inch and ½ an inch forward. I did find that with the foot pegs in the stock position, that anything over 45 minutes I was starting to feel cramped. Now it's much better. And the next thing I will do is a handlebar riser set, so that I move the handlebars up slightly and back slightly. Because at the moment I'm putting too much weight on my wrists. and on my shoulders. If I put the seat in the lower position, it mitigates it a bit, but then I'm back to having a cramped sitting position. So the way things are, that's what I will do. Now, this Boxer 1250 shift cam engine is an absolute delight. As you can tell, it pulls like a train. Not sure how fast we went then, but I must have been close to 90 miles an hour. The overtaking ability is absolutely amazing. I also have a quick shifter on this, which I never use. Most of the time I just forget that I have it. When I first got the motorcycle, the skinny hand grips made my hands ache. So I put on some, I think what they're called, grip puppies. They just made the grips a little bit wider. But after a while I decided that was too wide and were also making my thumbs hurt. So I took those off. Now I've got used to the thickness of the handle grips. I came from a Indian Chieftain, and I rode that for quite a long time, which has it's a high displacement motorcycle with a lot of torque, more torque than this. So I'm still having a little issue with gear selection, because you do have to stir the gears a little bit more on the RT than I did on the Chieftain. Chieftain, I just leave it in one gear, like fifth, and I didn't have to change gear because there was enough torque just to pull you through and out of any situation. Now on the colder mornings, or the colder days, I do use the seat and grip heating. It means that especially with the grip heating, I can wear a thinner, less bulky pair of gloves. Like at the moment, the gloves I'm wearing from Icon are really summer gloves. They're a little thicker than would be normal for summer, but with the heating on, the grip heating on, they are plenty warm enough. But these gloves are not waterproof, so if it rains I'll have to put my other gloves on. We could talk about wind protection. The fairing and windscreen offer such good wind protection that I can ride in all weathers and all temperatures. The wind protection and the screen just keep me dry and warm. The only part of me that ever gets cold is really my feet, as they in a bit more of the wind than anything else. I have the windscreen in a position so I'm looking over it, and the wind is diverted directly over the top of my head. With the shift cam engine, when you hit the point where the cam shifts, you do feel it, but it's barely noticeable. This motorcycle has a radio and speakers built into it, which I never use. At 60 miles an hour you can't hear it, so what's the point of having it? My Indian Chieftain had a 100-watt speaker system in it, and I could play that at any speed. 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour wasn't a problem. I could hear it clearly. So now I just play music in my helmet with my Cardo Pack Talk Bold. I have radio stations pre-selected. So if I'm going on a long trip somewhere, I'll look on the internet. I'll find out which radio station I can listen to, and I will pre-program them on the way. We're on the way. That's that. Oh, that's the first time this is been green. That's messed me up. I was so used to stopping there. So that's it for the 3,000 mile review. It's another 3,000 miles until I have to have it serviced. But the way I ride, that'll only take a couple of months. So I will post this in the next few days. So join me for my next ride. Not sure what that'll be. I don't know which one will get posted. The DMV TV advert video or this one. We'll see.